Calais Campbell joins us right now on his way back from practice in the facility. I figured Tuesday was an off day for you guys. You have a different schedule out there, Calais Campbell.
Yeah, we do Mondays off and kind of get a bonus day on our opponent on Tuesdays, which is unique, but I like it.
Yeah, that's you guys are having a nice season, 7-3. You looking forward to coming back to Jacksonville on Sunday?
I am. I am. I'm very curious how things are going to be. I don't know how I'm going to be received, but it's going to be interesting. And I did take the trip back to Arizona in Jacksonville, and I was pleasantly surprised that they gave me a pretty good, warm welcome. But it's always different, so, I'm excited to get back to my old stopping grounds, made a lot of plays on that field, so I'm excited about it.
Calais, if you would have come back to Jacksonville and the reception would have been poor or even bad, would that have hurt on, like, an emotional level, or is that something you just got to go, it's all in the game?
Well, I really don't know, I guess. I definitely would be, I think it would hurt a little bit, because you dedicate you put a lot of time and effort in trying to, bring wins to the team and give the fans something to cheer about and try to bring the community together. And so if they kind of boo you, it'll hurt a little bit. But at the same time, I know that it's, all fun and games for the most part. I know that when I was there, I got a lot of love, and that means something to me. So, yeah, I don't think it'll be that. I think I'll probably still feel love, even though they boo. I think it'll be just because of the moment, not really how they truly feel.
Heck yeah, man. I think they should do a tribute video to you, but I'm a little biased, all right? So, I'm a little partial. Did it feel like you were in Jacksonville longer than you were because of the impact you made? Obviously, you had that monster season, and you guys had the monster season, and Saxonville was a thing, and the place was rocking. And it's really the only time this place has been rocking in 15 years, given the lack of success of the football franchise. But you also did a bunch in the community. Obviously, you met just about everybody in Jacksonville in your 3 years here. Does it almost feel like you were here longer, even though Arizona was a place you were there the longest?
Yeah, I spent. But the 3 years in Jacksonville were very, it was very impactful, in my career. And just I think where I was at, an older player, trying to just give all I can to the game. And I feel like I was a lot more, just experienced, a lot more wise, and I had a lot of value to bring. And so I feel like it was, it was very efficient. It was a very efficient 3 years. And so, yeah, definitely felt longer than 3 years, though. You think back on it, it's like, dang, it was only 3 years. Like, 3 years flies by, in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. Calais Campbell with us, comes in with the Baltimore Ravens 7-3. You guys are in a good spot right now. Calais, tell us about your football team. Obviously, Lamar's Lamar, but your defense, you just picked up Roquan Smith. You've got a lot of veteran presence, savvy guys on that defense, and obviously you're just a hardened football team, it looks like. How do you feel like you guys are playing right now?
Yeah, I think we're in a good groove right now. But, from experience, though, I only mean so much, you're only as good as your latest memory in this business. Last year we were 8-3, 1 week later, and then we ended up losing 6 straight to, finish 8-9, to finish the season off. So, where we're at right now is just a place, but you know how this business is, you gotta continuously go, and so I think that, with our veteran presence and just the guys we have in this building and what we went through last year, I think we'll take advantage of our opportunities, and we, hopefully we'll be able to continue playing good football at a high level. But in this business, it's hard to win, especially on the road. So, we're definitely gonna, we respect the guys that we're playing against this week. Jacksonville's a young, talented team.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you look at the Jags? Because they are a team that's better than their record if you look at the metrics and you look at the film. Probably you see that as well. There's a lot of talent. They've been in basically one-score games the entire season outside of last week against the Chiefs. How do you view them, and especially their offensive side of the ball with Trevor as his development, Christian Kirk, who obviously was in Arizona as well, and the receiving core, and then their offensive line's playing well in front of Travis Etienne.
Yeah, I think, there's talent all over the place. Christian Kirk, I think a lot of people kind of, laughed when he got a big contract and then the way he's been playing. It's like, he's very deserving. He's been balling. And, especially when he's healthy. And I think, Etienne, I used to be a fan of his in college, ACC football, cheering against the SEC, and I've always thought he would be a good pro. I didn't know he'd be this fast, especially after missing all last year. But wow, you put on the tape and you see him, it's like, he might be one of the best backs in the league. One of our coaches said he kind of is reminiscent of Alvin Kamara, but even faster. I'm like, well, that's a pretty big compliment, but when you watch the tape, you see it. The guy is special, and the O-line is blocking well for him. Creighton, giving them space, and when you give them if you give them an inch, he's gonna take it and probably turn it into a whole lot more. So, I think Trevor Lawrence is a guy who is super talented, can beat you with his arm, his legs. The team is very, very talented. I mean, when you look at it, and then the defense too. I mean, at home, I saw that you're only giving up 15 points a game. That's impressive. So we know, we got our hands full this week. It's going to be a battle. This is one of the better teams we face all year from a talent standpoint. And you guys are scrappy. And it's like last minute letdowns that cost you to lose some ball games. But if you look at the tape, you see that this team is very, very talented.
Calais Campbell, one of the great talents, of course, in the NFL for a long time now, 36 years old. Boy, they put that stat up a couple of weeks ago. You're the oldest defensive player in the league. I can't believe that at 36 years old. And you kind of hinted that this would be it for you. Are you still feeling that way?
Well, you got to take it one year at a time, and really one game at a time, too. I feel like where I'm at right now, I feel really, really good. If I feel like this in the offseason, who knows? I might have another one in me. But, I really can't look that far ahead. I don't have the luxury for that. I got to stay in the moment. I've seen guys, late in their career, things happen, and, and they get retired from different reasons and stuff. So, for me, I'm just enjoying the ride, trying to play as long as I can while I'm healthy and feeling good, and taking it one day at a time.
Calais, it's interesting. You talk about coming to the Jaguars, only spending 3 years here, but it was so fruitful and efficient. And I think a lot of people think it has a lot to do with the fact that you came here at a point in your career where you had a little wisdom and the roster was so young. You really got to wrap your arms around some of these guys and do a little mentorship, a little fellowship. And it seemed to be a role that was very suitable for you. But then you look at all the work you do outside the football field. It makes me wonder where this trajectory for you is going once you get a few years down the road and you're past football. Are you looking to stay around the game, or are you looking to maybe do some of more of the stuff that you love? Like you could basically make a whole life out of the Calais Campbell Foundation at this point.
Yeah, I really don't know. I feel like I try not to think about my career being over too much, because I feel like it just takes away from me, trying to be the best I can be while I'm playing football. But, you have to kind of think about it a little bit, because, just it's only natural. And so I think there's 1,000 things I want to do. I know that, I put myself in a position to try to, get a job like you and do some media stuff, which I think will keep me close to the game, which I love the game so much. It'll be fun to stay close to the game. I contemplated becoming a referee, I think it would be interesting just to stay close to the game. I don't think I will get a coach. I think it's too time-consuming, but I feel like it would be fun to be a coach because you could just help so many people. But, it is what it is. But I definitely, no matter what I do, I will continue doing charity work. That's important to me. That's just at the core who I am as just, the way I was raised. And so that's going to happen regardless. I'm going to be a lot more hands-on, and I look forward to that time as well. Who knows? I might, travel the world and try to do, good, throughout the world, and I have no idea yet. It's just kind of, we'll take it as it comes, but, obviously, family dynamic and all that plays a role. I have a 2-year-old son who's my heart right now, and so, him going, probably going to school and all that stuff soon, it changes everything. But the sky's the limit. I'm excited for the future. Who knows?
Brent, could you imagine Calais Campbell as a referee and some hot-headed coach walking up to 6'8", 300-pound Calais Campbell to give him some lip? That would be great.
Yeah, that would be good, actually. Casey,
I like the idea of me never getting a call wrong, but yeah. I try to get into the mind of referees. They're humans, they're going to make mistakes. They see it, and they're going to make mistakes all the time. So I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and when they make a bad call, I try not to scold them too much. But sometimes it's like, come on, man, you can't miss that.
Casey, go ahead.
Calais, let me ask you this. You don't seem like a guy who really keeps track of your numbers or really that worry about it. You're 2 sacks away from 100. If you could get that done in Jacksonville, what would that mean to you? And overall, when you do get there, what's it going to mean to you when you get to 100?
Oh, man, when I was a kid and I wanted to play this game, I knew I was going to play defensive end. That's like, the position I wanted to play. That's one of the few goals where I was like, okay, that would be cool to be in the 100-sack club. At the time, it was probably a lot less people in it. I don't remember what it was. At the time, it was probably 20 people in it, when I first started, really getting into it. Now it's, I think, 41 guys. But, yeah, that's something that's huge. Something I've always, kind of had on my checklist. And so, if that was to come, this season, it would be huge. It's definitely, one of the few goals I have written down, is get to the 100 sack club. Our coaches, when Richard goes down, put him on the board. We have it in the back of the board in the D-line room, and that's on the list. So, getting this close to it, it's kind of nice, But then, knowing just my history in Jacksonville and, just knowing, like, being on that field and making all those plays, I can visualize myself making a few plays. But, at the same time, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is like, I think he's fifth in giving up sacks from like not giving up that often. So, he's really hard to get to, and he's a tough tackle as well. So, I think it'd be tough, but hey, if it was to happen, where I get 2 in Jacksonville and get the 100 sacks in Jacksonville, I think that'd be very poetic.
I think we would give that a standing ovation, by the way, I believe. Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award, you're a nominee again. Bart Starr Award, you already won. Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, you won. Do you think you almost have to get to 100 to make the Hall of Fame, or you think it's already there? I think it's already there for you, but do you think that's a magic number?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think, from a Hall of Fame standpoint, I think they try to evaluate what you did throughout your career from just impact in the game. The numbers do matter. But, the way I've played and just kind of the position I've played throughout the majority of my career, there are guys in there who have less than 100. So I don't think 100 is 100% necessary to get to the Hall of Fame. But at the same time, I do think that, it can definitely help your case. That's a unique club that only 41 people, in the history of the game could say they're in. And that's a pretty big deal. A lot of people play this game and play at a high level. We know how hard it is to make plays. So, and the crazy part about it is like, you try not to think about the Hall of Fame. You just play football and, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You just give the game all you have and, when whatever happens, happens, But then as you play long enough and people start talking about it, you start kind of seeing like just the conversations going along and you're like, hey, do I have a good chance? And it's something, that's, I want to be considered one of the best in the game when it's all said and done, and that's where the best reside. So it's definitely on my mind. And every time I'm on the football field, I don't want to put anything bad out there because I know, a lot of guys sometimes play too long and they don't have it anymore. I don't want to be one of those guys. So as long as I can play football at a high level, I want to keep chasing it, But we'll see how it goes. But, man, that would be a dream come true.
Yeah, that would be a big gold jacket, but one that was well earned. And I know you appreciate the history of the game and the current state of the game and everything else. You're a big football fan. Hey, we'll wrap up with you here in just a couple minutes. Appreciate you jumping in on your way back from the facility as you get ready to play the Jags this Sunday. Always great to catch up with Calais Campbell. Everybody here in town loves him. The mayor of Saxonville, of course. I've always thought about this, Calais. I don't know if I've even asked you this all these years. You play the game with a smile on your face, yet you play a nasty, violent game. Like, how do you balance that? Like there have been other guys, like Malik Jackson, when you played next to him, I always thought like he was this really like cool, kind of gentle giant off the field, and then he got in between those lines and he was almost like a maniac. Like, I don't necessarily see that from you. I still see you smiling a bunch on the field. Is it just because you're bigger than everybody else? You can push them all around? I mean, how do you balance that?
Honestly, I've been playing football since I was 6 years old, right? And I've always really just enjoyed the game. And when you go and, like, I guess I have 5 brothers, right? They're all real close in age, and we always competed at everything. And so for me, competition is fun. That's what I did my whole life. And so I feel like, with football on the football field, it's just competition. When I'm out there trying to, dominate, it's because I want to win because the competition game is so much fun. But, like, it's never anything, like, it's a children's game. I'll never forget that we play a children's game. One of our teammates always says a children's game for a king's ransom. And I never really cared about the money of the game. It's nice when it comes because it is business. But for me, I never like lost the purity of just a children's game. When I was young and I played this game, it was about the brotherhood. It was about the coming together, becoming a team, fighting for the man next to you. And still today, that's the same mentality I have that I had when I first stepped on this field as a young buck. And so anytime I get a chance to step on the field, I never take it for granted. I'm always appreciative because I know we took it from you at any moment. And so I just, I try to cherish every moment. And when I'm on that football field, it is definitely pure bliss. I'm smiling because I enjoy it.
We appreciate your 3 years here in Jacksonville for sure. One thing I don't appreciate is the fact that I've got a 17-year-old, you've got a 2-year-old, and he's probably just as big as my 17-year-old. Like, that's not fair, but that's okay. Like, that's just part of life. And someday we're going to do this documentary, Calais, on like 20 years from now, 2037, on Saxonville. And part of it's going to be what the heck happened to Saxonville? How did it end so quickly? That's that's what we still miss here in Jacksonville. But we think we're back up on the rise here in Jacksonville, and can't wait to see you on Sunday as the Baltimore Ravens come to town. Appreciate you taking a few minutes, man.
Hey, always a pleasure. You know, you're my guy. You always have been, always will be, man.
Thanks, man.
Look forward to seeing you. We'll
Yes,
go out there
sir.
and compete. Have some fun.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family. Good to talk to you.
Happy Thanksgiving.